Direct from Montreal, Canada, this is Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon. Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon.
We are speaking with the one and only Lita Ford. She is coming to the great M3 Rock Festival down there in Maryland. And as we say here in Montreal, bonjour, Lita. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just waking up here on the West Coast.
I know. I've been wide awake for the last 6 hours, and of course you're just getting started out there. But let me just talk about these different festivals and the M3 one in particular. Talk to me just about the importance of festivals like this for bands like yourself and for music in general.
Well, I mean, it's just great to be back out performing again after the freaking 2020 lockdown. You know, we're so happy to be on the M3 festival and to be able to just come back and perform for everybody at the Merriweather Post Pavilion. It's been like, I think I performed in 2014 when I was there last. So it's just, you know, it's just a great way to start off coming out of lockdown, and the festival's bringing everybody together musically and just doing what we all love. And that's rock and roll and music. It's so good to be a part of it again. You know, the 2020 was just like, ugh, is it ever going to end? It felt like I was in hibernation.
Yeah,
like Groundhog Day.
And you know, the frustrating part about 2020 is that pretty much every government around the world, whether it was here in Quebec or in California, they said, we're just going to take a 2-week break. We're going to put the province on break for 2 weeks. We're putting California on pause for 2 weeks. And of course, it ended up being forever and always. So then, how important is the live performance to what you've done? I mean, you go back historically, you look at all the shows you've done, and how important is it for you to not just make a studio album, but then be able to stand on a stage? You know, the last time I saw you was at Heavy Montreal, and it was just spectacular.
It's what we do, you know. It's just what we do, and it's what we love, is to be able to perform live, and it's what we're best at. And you know, we're just, like I said, we're just so happy to be back in the ring and back on stage, back rocking for the fans.
Back walking. So what did you do for the last year in terms of music? Did you write a new album? Did you revisit some stuff in the vaults and say, ooh, I can release this? So what was sort of the musical landscape for you in the last year?
You know, I probably did the opposite of what everybody else did. And the first thing I did was I had my TV removed from my house. I got it taken out. I got the box, the cable, everything. I said, just get it out of here. I don't want to watch the news. I don't want to hear another thing about protesting or Black Lives Matter or COVID. I just don't even want to hear that word. And it got really depressing. I'm just like, you know, I want to just focus on music. And so, you know, I removed my televisions and it was okay. And I started focusing on other things like trying to stay healthy and just trying to get through 2020 lockdown, you know, like eating good and exercising and just focusing on good music. And so it was nice. And I really did need a year off too. So yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, I didn't realize how beat up I was until we came home and just went, okay, you're home for a year. And it was just like, what? What do you mean?
You know, so I was just going to say, I think the silver lining in all of this for a lot of us, or for a lot of musicians and even athletes, is you don't realize how beaten up you are. And for fans, I think it's going to give us an extra 5 or 10 years of these bands, you know, like you, like Judas Priest, like Kiss, who maybe, you know, you rested your voice, you rested the body, you're going to be ready to kick ass as soon as you get back out there, right?
Yeah, it's really great. And everybody looks good too. You know, everybody's in really good shape, and it's like, wow, okay, let's do this, you know, we're ready.
Yeah, we're ready now.
So,
Before I let you go here, because we're talking just about this for a bit, but 2021 is the 30th anniversary, of course, of Dangerous Curves that came out in 1991. Just quickly talk to me about that on its anniversary, which is coming up in later in November. What did that album mean to you in your career, and sort of how do you look back on it 30 years later?
huh.
You
Well,
work with
it's
you work
weird
with
to
great
think.
people. Jim Valance was on there, or he
Yeah,
wrote.
yeah. I mean, that was just that question is kind of left field for me,
Yeah.
as I've been trying really hard to look forward and
Okay.
not look back. And I think there's a whole music scene coming up in the future, and I just want to be a part of it. I don't want to focus on the past, but I mean, it was a great album, and there were a lot of great people on there, and I remember my trainer. I had a trainer at the time, and she was running me around the track. Like, we would go to the UCLA college, and we would run the track, and 4 times around the track is a mile, and I hate running. I'm just like, no, I don't want to run, no. So she used to just lie to me to get me to run, and so I remember her pushing me to exercise and pushing me to run, and I mean, I believe some of the coolest times we had together were on that record, coming to the studio and talking to the producer and just saying, how far did you run this morning? Well, I only ran 2 miles. Well, I ran 5 miles, and then you go in and you start singing these great vocal tracks, and that Jim Valance song. I forgot the name of is it Shot of Poison that's on that record?
Yeah, there's Shot of Poison here, and in fact, there are 2 that have Valance as a co-write: Shot of Poison and Playing with Fire.
Playing with Fire, and we play that live. We're going to play it at M3.
Yeah.
But Shot of Poison we did, and Playing with Fire we both did the videos for, and I was like, running 5 miles a day, and so I was ripped to shreds in those videos. I felt amazing, although I hate running. I'd rather ride my bike.
Listen, I hate running and bike riding. I'd rather just walk the dogs all day. That's what I do. As soon as we're done here, I'm out. I'm out. I do a good 6-7 kilometers every day, like 3-4 miles every day with the dogs, and that's what I'm up for. But so since we don't want to look back too much, then let's look forward. What is sort of the plan? Is there an album in the offing? Is something coming up soon? I mean, we've got all these shows, and you've got shows that I can see run all the way to Halloween, and then you've got the Rock Legends Cruise coming up in February of 2022. But somewhere in there, is there new product? Is there a new album, a box set, a something?
Yeah, there is. There's a really great record. We've been working on it for quite a long time, and we're just mixing it right now. Max Norman is mixing it, and I don't know if you're familiar with Max.
Yep.
But he's done pretty much. Yeah, I'm sure you are, right?
Right. That's what I do. I study all these things. It's my obsession. But
well, then you could give us a 2 cents on Max Norman. But he's just badass, and so he's mixing it right now. And 2020 threw us back a year, so everything got put on hold. We couldn't get in the studio to mix. We couldn't get in the studio to record the final drum tracks. And finally, we were able to get in and do it. And it's just a really cool album. I'm sure everybody is going to be really excited about it because it's needed right now. There's not a whole lot of new rock and roll out there of any substance that has any substance.
I agree.
And,
well, let me just ask you, since you're working with Max Norman, and he's been associated with, of course, Ozzy and Y&T and Coney Hatch here in Canada, and all these, more metal or very hard rock for the lack of a better word. Does that mean that the next Lita is going to be just like a punch in the face? It's just going to be this heavy metal rock thing?
No, it doesn't mean that at all.
Okay.
I mean, it is hard. It's hard rock because that's just what I do. But, we still have the melodic choruses and really great guitar stuff that's between me and Gary Hoey. I worked with Gary Hoey a lot on this record, and we would just hang out in his studio and play stuff that was just amazing. And so there's a lot of really great guitar playing and on this new record, not just from myself, but from Gary as well. And, some of my favorite records, there's dual guitar playing going on. Like, like Alice Cooper had Dick Wagner and Wagner Hunter.
Steve Hunter, yes.
Right. And then, just seeing Jack Russell's Great White the other day when we played at the Spyglass, those guitar players are really good together.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see these great guitar players. Judas Priest had it, and just so many wonderful musicians out there.
Iron Maiden has a great duo. Thin Lizzy had a great duo. I mean, just there's a lot of great duos out
man.
there. Yeah.
It's just such a great part of the heavy metal hard rock scene. And I'm really happy to be able to bring that back with Gary. And, I pull shit out of Gary. Well, Gary's just like, that's amazing, And so we sit and play together. It's not like a Hoey album at all. It's just completely dark and rockin', lots of cool riffs and some really melodic parts, choruses. It doesn't not sound like Lita. It sounds like Lita, but
sounds like Lita on steroids. It sounds great. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, listen, I know you don't want to live in the past, but I remember sitting in my living room, turning on Much Music, and Kiss Me Deadly comes on, and you just go, fuck yeah. I mean, I literally ran to the store and bought the album right away. The CD. I bought the CD right away, and that's what's great about music. When it hits you, man, it hits you. And Lita's music, your music, has always spoken to me. It's great. And my wife, as you know, is completely enamored with you. She just thinks you're the greatest. In fact, she was heading off to work right now. She was heading off to work right now because it's lunchtime here, and she's working starting at 1. And I go, you going to work? She goes, yeah. I go, I'm going up to talk to Lita Ford, and she was like, oh, son of a gun. I went, yeah, well, sucks to be me. So she's jealous. I mean, her greatest moment was meeting you at the Bell Center when you were on tour with who was it? Def Leppard and Poison, I think. Yeah, right. Back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, talking about more dual guitar playing, Def Leppard is another one. I mean, just great stuff in there on those records. So I'm really happy to be bringing that back.
Yeah. Well, you'll be
okay.
Yeah, you'll be bringing that to the M3 Rock Festival on July 4th. You can, of course, get tickets on their website, but I suggest you head over to LitaFordOnline.com, LitaFordOnline.com. Check out the tour dates. You can click there and get tickets from there, and, of course, you can check out all the other cool stuff that's going on at Lita Ford Online. And by the way, I'm looking at the merch page right now. I'm going to be hanging out at this merch page after I'm done with this interview because there's a lot of really cool-looking T-shirts, I got to say. You have got some great band merch.
Some really good shirts. We designed them. I designed them myself.
Really?
And,
oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, and they're really good quality shirts. It's not cheap. They sent us one batch one day. I was like, what is this? This is so thin. I sent it back and I said, let's just get some good quality T-shirts. Because sometimes the tour shirts are they're expensive and the material is so thin. You wear it once and you wash it and you got to give it to your dog.
Yep. Oh, I've been there, done that. I've seen that. Yeah, but I'm just looking. There's a couple like a Black Widow spider on it and a double neck guitar. I mean, there's some really cool looking shit on here. I mean, honestly, I'm in. I'm buying. You'll have a Mitch Lafon order by the end of the day. On that, I'll let you go, and you'll be back on the show in a couple of weeks because you've got a special announcement coming up. We can't reveal that today. So on that, as we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you at the Pavilion on July the 4th. Merriweather Post Pavilion. God, that's a mouthful.
I know. And what a way to celebrate Independence Day. That's the way to do it. You go to a rock show.
Yeah, man.
That's the way to do it.
4th of July. M3. We'll see you then.